Hey you guys, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be trying out the final Bh Cosmetics REMIX Dance Palette. This is the 2000s palette, and I'm going to be showing you guys close-ups and swatches of all of the shades in the palette. I'm also going to be creating these two eye looks for you guys using this palette, so I hope you guys are all excited about today's video. If you are, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, let's go ahead and do some close-ups of the palette and swatch all of the shades. So this is the Bh Cosmetics thousands, 2000s, whatever you want to call this, REMIX Dance Palette, and the price is $18. So this is a 15 pan palette with stunning purples and browns in it. So let's go ahead and do some swatches, starting with the top row. First up is the shade called Glam. Oh, this is like a kind of chunky metallic shade. Wow, that is very, very shiny. Next we have the shade called Poker Face. Teen Dream. That one is a little bit more of like a sheer shimmery shade. Sexy Back. Wow, that is really pretty. And Milkshake. Okay, wow, that's like a very, very dark navy. Moving on to the second row. First we have the shade called Twerk. That one is also a sheer shimmer. Crazy in Love. Don'tcha. Single Lady. That shade is so pretty. And Umbrella. Moving on to the last row. First up we have the shade Hey Ya. Gold Digger. Ooh, I love that one. Hollow Back. Bootylicious. That one's a little patchy. And the last shade is called Hot in Here. So here are all of the shades from the palette. I really love the amount of mattes and shimmers. I feel like it's a good ratio of mattes to shimmers, and these shades are stunning. So now that you guys have seen all of these shades swatched, let's go ahead and move on to the demo part of the video where I'm going to create these two eye looks for you guys. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is prime my lids with my P. Louise base. So I'm thinking I'm first gonna do like a brown eye with the bottom row. Then we'll do kind of like a purpley, I'm not really sure what type of eye look. I always just kind of wing it. But I'm first gonna start out with the brown shades. So I'm first gonna start out with the shade called Hot in Here. I think for both these eye looks, I'm gonna start out with the darkest shades. So I'm just gonna take that dark brown and kind of map out the line of my crease. I don't wanna go too high with this. Once I like place it down, I'll kind of just drag my brush along the edges just to kind of soften them a little bit. Now I'm going to take this shade right here, and I'm just going to tightly blend this right above that dark brown. Next, I'm going to take the shade called Hollow Back, and I'm just going to blend this shade lightly right above the last shade. We're just going to keep blending outwards. Now I'm going to take this like light matte shade, and I'm just going to kind of run this like right under the brow bone and kind of use it to blend the edges of the last shade I put down. For the lid, I'm going to take the shade called Gold Digger, and I did kind of cut my crease off camera with some concealer, and I'm just going to put this all over the lid. So now we're going to move on to the lower lash line. So I think I'm going to first take the dark brown on like a smudging brush, and I'm just going to kind of pat this along the lower lash line, keeping it pretty close. Then I'm going to take the kind of like medium orangey shade called Bootylicious, And I'm just going to start like kind of blending this out underneath that brown to kind of diffuse it. Then I'm going to take the lightest brown shade on like a fluffier brush, and I'm just going to blend this all along the lash line just to kind of blend everything together. Now I'm going to take the shade called Glam, and I'm going to use this to highlight the inner corner. Oh my goodness, that's very bright. I'm also going to add a little bit under the brow bone. Alright, so here is eye look number 1 complete. I think that the browns in this palette performed really nicely. Like, I feel like the browns were the best eyeshadows that I tried out of all 3 of like the REMIX Dance palettes so far. So I'm really impressed with this palette. So now we're going to move on to the other eye and use some of these purple shades, which I'm so excited to try out. I am a little bit nervous because purples can be tricky to work with, but yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the other eye. So I'm first going to take the shade right here called Milkshake, and I'm going to do the same thing on this eye. I'm first going to kind of stamp this in the crease. Then I'll kind of start blending out the edges. Now I'm going to take the shade called Don'tcha. Every time I read one of these shade names, I like start singing this song in my head. I'm just going to blend this shade really close to the first shade. Hopefully this was not a bad idea. I'm trying to keep the shade like pretty low because both of these are pretty dark, so I don't want to go too high or like let this get too messy. Once there's like nothing left on the brush, I'm just gonna kind of swirl around a little bit more to diffuse the edges. Now I'm gonna take the shade called Crazy in Love, and I'm gonna lightly blend this right above the lash shade. Just like we did on the other eye, we're just going to kind of do the same process. I like to like concentrate the most color like closest to the edge of the lash shade, and then once there's like nothing left on the brush, that's when I'll start to blend outwards. So for the lid, I'm first going to start with the shade right here called Twerk. And once again, I did kind of cut my crease off camera. I'm just going to apply this shade right here on the inner part of my lid. Next, I'm going to take the shade called Teen Dream, and I'm just going to start blending this towards the center of the lid. These purple shimmer shades in this palette are so pretty. And lastly, for the lid, I'm going to take the shade called Single Lady. And I'm just going to apply this to the rest of the lid. So now I'm going to take that white metallic shade again. And once again, I'm going to use this to highlight my inner corner. And I just realized I haven't done my lower lash line yet. I'm also going to apply this to the brow bone. All right, so for the lower lash line, I'm going to once again take the like super dark blue. And I'm just going to start pressing this on the lower lash line, trying to keep it as close as possible. Then I'm going to take Don'tcha, and I'm just going to start blending this right along the first shade. And then I'm going to take a Crazy in Love, and I'm just going to blend this all along the lower lash line. Alright, so here are both eyes complete. I'm actually like super happy with how both looks turned out. I'm really impressed with this palette. Like I feel like these two looks don't even look like they're from the same palette, which just shows how versatile this palette is. Obviously, you can create a lot of different looks with this palette, so I am so excited to keep using this. I thought that these shadows performed amazing. The mattes were really pigmented. They blended out very nicely. I didn't have any issues with like patchiness or blending, and then the shimmery shades were beautiful. I was worried about the purple eye because purples can be tricky to blend, but it actually ended up being easier than I expected. So yeah, I'm really liking this palette. This might actually be my favorite out of the 3 REMIX Dance palettes, and I was not expecting to to like this one as much as I do. I'm going to be doing like a ranking new eyeshadow palettes video soon, so I will keep using these and then I'll give you guys like an update on which ones I'm liking in that ranking video, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. But yeah, overall I really like this palette. Definitely one of my favorites out of these 3 palettes, if not my favorite. Let me know what you guys think about these 2 looks in the comments down below. Do you like these looks and which one is your favorite? So yeah, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, make sure you guys have your notifications turned on. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. All you have to do is click the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you'll receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.